Well, hello there again, friends. Today is 10/4/2022, and today is the Odin Project blog day 153. And I have completed the module using Git in the real world of the JavaScript course. Um, so uh, this module does get into the use of Git in a practical way. In fact, it steps you through the process of, if you haven't done it yet, which I'm assuming you have since you're following along in the videos here, but basically it steps you through the feature requests and the Git workflow for updating the Odin project, which was a pleasant surprise. I read through all this. I did not do it. Um, and the reason I didn't do it is because when I was looking at the contribution guide out here, and I read it some other places, but right here, this is what made me stop. Is it's based on Ruby and Rails, so and whereas yeah, I could probably fumble my way through it, but A, I don't have anything currently to contribute, and B, I don't really want to take the time to learn Ruby commands right now, since we're focused on JavaScript full stack. So that's why I personally didn't do it. But nevertheless, we're going to go through the module here. And so it walks you through the initial step. I won't cover all this. You guys can read through that. It reads through pretty good. We'll do the knowledge check here at the end, and then we'll have a little bit of fun after the knowledge check. So what name is typically given for a Git remote that points to a repo that's been forked? It's kind of I had to read this question a couple times. I think it's worded kind of weird, but excuse me. But basically, if I'm understanding the question right, they're referring to the upstream. So this would be like in the example of using the Odin Project's Git repo. This would be their unforked repo, their repo that they own. That would be called the upstream. If they're not asking for that, and they're asking about the other, yeah, that would be the only Git remote points to a repo that's been forked. Yeah, yeah, because you could look at it and you could say it could be the forked version since that's remote as well, but that's your version. So, and it says that it points to a repo that's been forked, and that would be yours. So yeah, the answer would be the upstream, which is Odin's owned repo. Second question, can you directly send your changes to a repo that you don't have or own or have access to? You cannot. You cannot read, or you can read, but you cannot write to anything that you don't have access to. To get around that, you would do a pull request, and through the and following the Git flow process to do that. So make sure I said that right. Yep. You can't send directly to upstream because you don't have access. You'll need to make you need to make a pull request. Use git push origin your feature name to ship your feature branch up to your fork on GitHub. And okay, so there's that. Third question, knowledge check. What should you do immediately before merging your feature into the branch? What should you do immediately before merging your feature branch into main? So I'm assuming they're referring to the remote main. Yeah. So you need to check to make sure that 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 you're running the latest version, because remember, you want to basically assume always, and and this is in the reading as well. Assume always that your upstream is constantly changing. So by the time you get your local copy on your machine wrote out and completed the way you want it, it's very likely that your changes do not match the upstream. So basically, before you merge into your feature branch, you want to do a pull request from the or it's kind of fuzzy in my head, but or do a fetch and a merge from the upstream right before you do your merge to your feature branch. That way you get the immediate snapshot, if you will, of the current state of the files from the upstream, and then you'll be able to upload or push your merge your changes into your feature branch that will be up to date, and then into main, which will be up to date. So I know it's kind of hard to follow just talking about it because I had to follow it in my head a little bit with a picture. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to draw a stupid picture for you to put this into a little bit more context. I will say there's additional resources. I did skim some of these since this was a fairly quick read today. I would highly encourage you to check these out, or at least bookmark. I did bookmark this page as well for this Odin Project module for future viewing. I would advise you guys do the same. So if you ever get stuck with anything with Git, you can come back here, check out all these resources, or you can just Google. That's fine too. Yeah, so let's do something fun here. I'm gonna kind of like draw you out the triangle approach to the nuts and bolts of the Git workflow. This I tried this a long time ago in another video, and a long time ago, and it was just funny because it looked like crap. So this will look like crap. Just telling you, kind of on purpose. Just having some fun here. Excuse me. So here we have these squares represent our repos. So this is going to be a repo, and we're going to have another repo here. Oh boy. Oh, my mouse got stuck. Let me just do that again. Here is another repo. And here is a local copy. And so what we have here is, let's see if I can put a text box in here. This would be top, aka their upstream. But that looks like crap. Like I said, I didn't think it was, never admitted it was going to be amazing. There we go. So there's the upstream, okay? So this is where you're going to be forking from. So the first thing you would do is let's see if I can do a sexy connector here. So here you're going to create, you're going to fork your project down. Again, there's step-by-steps on how to do this. I'm just having fun with this, just highlighting the major themes here. But you'll if you haven't done the exercise or at least read through the material yet, you'll learn this in the material. But you're going to fork down, and they show you how to do that. The current state of the upstream top, and then this will be your fork. Maybe. Okay. So this will be your fork, whatever you want to call it. AKA origin. Okay. And then this is the one that's going to be your forked version that's going to reside on your GitHub that you have access to, that you own. And then we'll have another connector down here, and this will be a clone. Actually, we're going to have, yeah, we'll do it in order so it makes sense. So we have this right here, which is a clone. So we're going to clone down the local version, and then this will be, oop, no, did not want that. This will be your local copy on your machine. Okay, and or if you will, the local copy of the fork. This is where you'll do the work. Create your changes. Create your changes here, test it out. Work with it, and then after you're done with it and you validated that it works, what you're going to want to do is just like we answered in one of the questions. You're not going to want to push it back up to your origin yet, because you need to get because obviously some time has went by since this has occurred. So you will want to go like this, and you're going to want to Sorry about that. I forgot to mute my phone. Anyway, and then you're going to want to, come on, please work. There we go. So this line represents a, you can call it a pull request from upstream, but that kind of confuses people because you can't technically pull, do a pull request from your origin to the upstream, but you can do a pull request from the upstream to your local copy. So that's why I'm using it, but using the terms like that. But you can also say do a fetch and then a merge, and what that does, so it'll fetch all the upstream content, all the changes, and then merge will take those changes and merge them to your local copies so that you are using now the latest changes of that image snapshot, if you will, of the top upstream. Then after you do that and everything is hunky-dory and there's no errors, then you will do a that didn't turn out right. Anyway, it's not letting me move that. Whatever. So then you'll do a goodness gracious. And then you'll do a push. So that other line I just made basically represents the push back up to your fork, and this gets your fork up to date. And then after that's done, in the next instance, right after that, you will then go here and goodness, this is we're just having fun here, right? We're having so much fun. Goodness gracious, it won't let me make a. There we go. Whatever. This will be your pull request, your PR. So then here will be your pull request. And remember, this one, since we're going from origin, forked origin to upstream, this will be a pull request that top admin/org will evaluate and review. Top admin org, whatever, will evaluate and review changes, and they'll approve them. If it's appropriate or whatever. So that's how that works. So, because remember, you only have read access. I don't know why I just did that. You only have read access to the upstream in any of these cases. So you don't have the ability to write. If you're not part of the org, the organization, if you're not, if your rights aren't set up in the upstream, you're not going to be able to do anything but read it. So that is messy as it is. I'm sure it was pretty easy to follow along. That is the workflow. It creates that triangle look approach that they talked about in the text. So that is how the workflow of Git works. Yeah, so that is it. So just having a little bit of fun there. So I am super stoked because next lesson we're finally going into React Introduction. I am finally getting there, and I'm so excited. So I don't know why. I'm excited to. I've always read a lot of job descriptions about React and a lot of companies, and I've read a lot of articles about React. A lot of companies use React. So I'm looking forward to learning about it and getting my hands dirty with it. So, and bringing you guys along with me. So with that said, please like, share, and comment if you will, and for more content. And let me know in the comments section what you guys think of the Git process, and if you took a stab at today's exercise and took a little bit of Ruby under your belt, and you committed a pull request. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Excuse me. So anyway, with all that said, until next time, see ya.